Far out in the black silence of space, near the edge of the solar system, a fleet of alien ships appeared. They were not warships. Their engines were damaged. Their outer hulls were scratched and broken. Lights flickered. Some ships drifted slowly, as if tired. These were not soldiers. They were refugees. The aliens called themselves the Tayari. They had once lived on a beautiful blue-green world called Telion. But it was gone now, burned, consumed, destroyed by a terrible enemy known across the stars as the Devourers. Nobody knew exactly what the Devourers were. Machines, monsters. All that was certain was this: when they came, worlds died. Now the Tayari had only one hope left Earth. Aboard the largest Tayari ship, Ambassador Velmer stood tall, his silver eyes tired. His skin was pale blue, his robes torn. Round him other Tayari looked frightened. Some wept softly. They had lost everything: homes, families, history. Velmer looked at the message on the glowing screen. It was a translation sent to Earth. In every human language, "We are the Tayari. We come in peace. We are dying. We request asylum on your planet. Please, help us. You are our last hope." Press the transmit button. The message flew across space toward Earth. Then ... They waited down on Earth. The message was received by the United Nations Space Command. Inside a massive base in Geneva, generals, scientists, and diplomats gathered quickly. One of the top officers, General Morgan, frowned as he read the alien message. "These are the Tayari," he said. "I've heard of them. Peaceful, advanced, but weak. Their world was destroyed last month." Dr. Leela Chen, a scientist from Earth's Exocivilization Department, nodded. "The Devourers destroyed Talion. These aliens barely escaped." General Morgan looked up. "They're asking to land on Earth." The room went quiet. Everyone knew what that meant. To most of the galaxy, Earth was not a safe planet. It was called a death world, a place full of danger, poisonous animals, violent storms, earthquakes, diseases, volcanoes, extreme heat and cold. Even humans themselves were considered strange and unpredictable. Many alien species believed that only mad creatures could survive on Earth. But Earth was also strong. It had never been conquered. Even the galaxy's most powerful races stayed. Away now, for the first time, another species was asking to live there. After hours of discussion, Earth's leaders agreed to send a message back. "To the Tayari fleet, we understand your situation. May land temporary scout teams in an isolated zone for study. Coordinates attached. No weapons allowed. Welcome to Earth." Read the reply. His voice trembled. They accepted. "We can land a team." The room filled with quiet hope. Engineers rushed to prepare a small ship. Medical teams packed supplies. Soldiers in shiny white armor volunteered to go. They called. The mission piece Touch 1. The scout ship from the Tayari fleet descended through Earth's sky. The clouds glowed orange. Lightning flashed in the distance. Below was a green island surrounded by Oceanila Novar, at an uninhabited zone chosen for safety. As the ship landed, cameras showed tall trees, strange birds, and distant mountains. Velmer stood by the screen watching carefully. "This place looks peaceful." Peace Touch 1 opened its ramp. 6 Tayari scientists and guards stepped out. They wore sealed suits to protect them from unknown air and bacteria. They scanned the land. "All clear," one of them said.
"Air
is breathable with filters. Temperature stable." The camera showed one soldier walking toward a small tree with red flowers. He touched the leaf, then he screamed. In the control room, Velmer gasped. What happened? The screen turned black. All signals from the team were lost. Another screen flashed. Connection lost. Life signs -unknown. Panic spread through the fleet. Send a second team, Velmer ordered. Rescue them. Peace Touch 2, launched 5 minutes later. It followed the same path. But when it reached the island, it found nothing. No bodies. No ship. No signal. Just red flowers. And silence. On Earth, General Morgan received the report. They lost 2 scout teams already, he asked. Dr. Lila Chen sighed. This is Earth. Even we lose people in the wild sometimes. That island has volcanic gas, wild predators, and toxic plants. They chose a tough landing zone. General Morgan shook his head. They wanted isolation. We gave them isolation. Dr. Chen looked out the window. They don't understand this planet. Not yet. Back in orbit, Velmer stared at the screen. 2 teams gone. No warning. No help. What kind of world is this? He whispered. Another officer said, we can't stay here. This place is cursed. Velmer looked back at Earth. From space, it looked calm. Blue oceans, green forests, white clouds, but now he knew beauty could hide danger. He touched the screen gently. Earth. The last hope, the final grave. Far out in the black silence of space, near the edge of the solar system, a fleet of alien ships appeared. They were not warships. Their engines were damaged. Their outer hulls were scratched and broken. Lights flickered. Some ships drifted slowly, as if tired. These were not soldiers, they were refugees. The aliens called themselves the Tayari. They had once lived on a beautiful blue-green world called Talion, but it was gone now. Burned, consumed, destroyed by a terrible enemy known across the stars as the Devourers. Nobody knew exactly what the Devourers were. Machines? Monsters? All that was certain was this, when they came. Worlds died. Now the Tayari had only one hope left Earth. Aboard the largest Tayari ship, Ambassador Velmer stood tall, his silver eyes tired. His skin was pale blue, his robes torn. Around him, other Tayari looked frightened. Some wept softly. They had lost everything: homes, families, history. Velmer looked at the message on the glowing screen. It was a translation sent to Earth. In every human language, we are the Tayari. We come in peace. We are dying. Request asylum on your planet. Please help us. You are our last hope. He pressed the transmit button. The message flew across space toward Earth. Then ... They waited down on Earth. The message was received by the United Nations Space Command. Inside a massive base in Geneva, generals, scientists, and diplomats gathered quickly. One of the top officers, General Morgan, frowned as he read the alien message. These are the Tayari, he said. I've heard of them. Peaceful, advanced, but weak. Their world was destroyed last month. Dr. Lila Chen, a scientist from Earth's Exocivilization Department, nodded. The Devourers destroyed Talion. These aliens barely escaped. General Morgan looked up. They're asking to land on Earth. The room went quiet. Everyone knew what that meant. To most of the galaxy, Earth was not a safe planet. It was called a death world, a place full of danger, poisonous animals, violent storms, earthquakes, diseases, volcanoes, extreme heat and cold. Even humans themselves were considered strange and unpredictable. Many alien species believed that only mad creatures could survive on Earth. But Earth was also strong. It had never been conquered. Even the galaxy's most powerful races stayed away now, for the first time. Another species was asking to live there. After hours of discussion, Earth's leaders agreed to send a message back. To the Tayari fleet, we understand your situation. You may land temporary scout teams in an isolated zone for study. Coordinates attached. No weapons allowed. Welcome to Earth. The message flew across space, reaching the Tayari ships. Velmer. Read the reply. His voice trembled. They accepted. Can land a team. The room filled with quiet hope. Engineers rushed to prepare a small ship. Medical teams packed supplies. Soldiers in shiny white armor volunteered to go. They called the mission piece Touch One. The scout ship from the Tyari fleet descended through Earth's sky. The clouds glowed orange. Lightning flashed in the distance. Below was a green island, surrounded by Ocean Island Ovar, an uninhabited zone chosen for safety. As the ship landed, cameras showed tall trees, strange birds, and distant mountains. Vilmer stood by the screen, watching carefully. This place looks peaceful. Peace Touch One opened its ramp. 6 Tyari scientists and guards stepped out. They wore sealed suits to protect them from unknown air and bacteria. They scanned the land. All clear, one of them said. Is breathable with filters. Temperature stable. The camera showed one soldier walking toward a small tree with red flowers. He touched the leaf. Then he screamed. In the control room, Velmer gasped. What happened? The screen turned black. All signals from the team were lost. Another screen flashed. Connection lost. Life signs -unknown. Panic spread through the fleet. Send a second team, Velmer ordered. Rescue them. Peace Touch launched 5 minutes later. It followed the same path, but when it reached the island, it found nothing. No bodies, no ship, no signal. Just red flowers and silence. On Earth, General Morgan received the report. They lost 2 scout teams already, he asked. Dr. Leela Chen sighed. This is Earth. Even we lose people in the wild sometimes. That island has volcanic gas, wild predators, and toxic plants. They chose a tough landing zone. General Morgan shook his head. They wanted isolation. We gave them isolation. Dr. Chen looked out the window. They don't understand this planet. Not yet. Back in orbit, Velmer stared at the screen. 2 teams gone. No warning. No help. The Tyari fleet floated silently above Earth. 2 scout teams had vanished without a single message. Fear spread among the Tyari like cold wind. They had run from death before, but now it seemed they had landed in death's home. Ambassador. Velmer stood in the control room, staring at the blue and green planet. We came for safety, he said, voice shaking. But what if we came to something worse? Still, the Tyari needed answers. They needed to know why their teams were gone. They decided to send one last team this time, with stronger suits, better scanners, and a new guide. Down on Earth, General Morgan made a new offer. We'll send a human with them, he said. Someone who understands Earth's wild places. He looked at Dr. Leela Chen, a calm woman with short black hair and sharp eyes. She was an ecologist, a scientist who had studied Earth's most dangerous zones, jungles, deserts, volcanoes, and frozen lands. You'll be our guide, Dr. Morgan said. Help them survive. Show them what they're dealing with.
Actor.
Chen nodded. If they want to live here, they must learn how Earth works. The 3rd Tyari team landed on the same island, Isla Novar. This time, their ship was stronger. Cameras and sensors were placed everywhere. It had shock weapons and energy shields. And this time, a human was with them. Dr. Leela Chen stepped out first. She wore a light suit and carried a simple backpack. No armor, no gun. Just tools and calm eyes. The Tyari soldiers followed, nervous. One of them whispered, she wears no protection, ... Is she not afraid? She is human, Velmer replied from the ship. Maybe she doesn't need it. The island was quiet. Birds chirped in the trees. Insects buzzed in the air. Flowers swayed gently in the wind. But the Tyari kept their eyes wide open. Suddenly, one of the Tyari shouted, Movement!
Something's
In the trees. The group raised their weapons. Dr. Chen calmly walked forward and pointed. That's a monkey, she said. Curious. Not dangerous. Just don't try to feed it. The Tyari watched as the monkey leaped away, screaming and shaking branches. You see? She smiled. Earth doesn't hate you. But it doesn't love you either. They moved deeper. Into the forest. Dr. Chen stopped often to explain things. This plant looks beautiful, but it causes skin burns. This fruit smells sweet, but it's poison, these ants. Don't step near their nest. They swarm. The Tyari grew more nervous. Every step felt like walking through a hidden trap. How do you live here? One of them asked. Dr. Chen paused. We learn. We adapt, and we respect the land. That night, the team set up camp near a river. Dr. Chen showed them how to build a fire safely. As the fire crackled, Velmer asked, "Why do you stay on this world? Why not leave?" Dr. Chen looked at the stars. This is our home, it made us strong. Earth taught us how to fight, how to think, how to survive anything. She pointed to a tree with long roots growing from a cliff. See that tree? It should have fallen long ago, but it clings to the rock. That's what life is like here. We don't give up. Suddenly a loud growl echoed through the trees. The Tyari jumped up in fear. It's near. One shouted. Dr. Chen listened carefully. Then she smiled. That's a jaguar. Big cat. It's hunting something but not us. We're too noisy. Can it kill us? Velmer asked. Easily, she said, but don't worry. We'll keep the fire burning. They avoid fire. The Tyari sat back down slowly. Velmer looked. At the dark forest, your world is alive. In every direction. It feels like everything has teeth. Dr. Chen nodded. That's Earth. The next morning, they reached the area where the first teams had landed. They found wreckage, broken gear, a melted helmet, and deep claw marks in the ground. Something attacked them, a Tyari officer said. Dr. Chen studied the marks. Looks like a large predator. Maybe a bear. Or a pack of wolves. Earth animals move in silence. If you're not careful, you won't even hear them until it's too late. The Tyari stared in shock. No war machines. No energy weapons. Just beasts. Yes, Dr. Chen said softly, but here, the beasts are enough. Before leaving, they placed markers for the fallen. Dr. Chen bowed her head. The Tyari did the same. That evening, back on their ship, Velmer sent a message to the rest of the fleet. We found the answer. Earth is not like other worlds. It's wild, alive, and dangerous. Every tree, animal, and wind can bring death. But the humans, they do not fear it. They belong here. They walk through danger with calm hearts. This world is not safe. But perhaps it is strong, and maybe, with their help, we can become strong too. High above, in the darkness of space, something else moved. A black shadow passed silently beyond the moon. No light, no signal. It was the first scout of the Devers. Earth did not know it yet. But war was coming, and the Tyari had picked the most dangerous world in the galaxy as their shield. What kind of world is this? He whispered. Another officer said, We can't stay here. This place is cursed. Velmer looked back at Earth. From space, it looked calm. Blue oceans, green forests, white clouds. But now he knew. Beauty could hide danger. He touched the screen gently. Earth, the last hope. Or the final grave. The Tyari had seen Earth now. Its animals were dangerous. Its plants were poisonous. Its weather was wild. And yet humans lived here. They didn't just survive. They built cities, flew ships, and even traveled to space. Ambassador Velmer sat inside the command chamber of the Tyari fleet, thinking deeply. How did these people grow strong on such a world? He whispered. Why didn't they die out like the weaker species? He called his top scientists. Study the humans. I want to know how they are still alive. In a quiet lab on the Tyari flagship, a group of alien researchers began their study. They watched videos of human history, science, and culture. The more they learned, the more surprised they became, one scientist said. Their planet had ice ages, floods, quakes, and fire, and they survived it all, others said they were. Once hunted by big predators, but they built tools, then weapons, then machines. They fought each other in wars, another whispered. But after each war they rebuilt, stronger. Velmer walked in, so ... humans are not lucky. They're trained by their world. Down on Earth, Dr. Leela Chen visited a human school with a tiry guest, Officer Rashan. It was in a city called Nairobi, near wild lands and mountains. Children were learning first aid, fire drills, storm safety, and survival skills. Rashan asked, "Why do your children learn such dangerous things?" Dr. Chen smiled, "Because Earth teaches early. We teach them how to live with danger." In the playground, one boy climbed a rope high into a tree. He slipped, hung in the air, then laughed and climbed again. Rashan shook his head. "Young are fearless." Dr. Chen replied, "No. We teach them not to fear the world but to face it." Back on the fleet, more reports came in. Human body scans showed strong bones and flexible muscles. Their immune systems could fight off thousands of viruses. Their minds could stay calm under pressure. Some humans could even survive days in freezing, cold, deserts, or deep seas. One Tayari doctor said, "Even in death, humans do not always stop. Their organs can keep working for minutes. Their heart can restart." Another added, "They eat food that would poison other species. They drink bitter, hot liquids. They breathe thin air at high places." Velmer stood silent for a moment. Then he said, "Earth didn't just make survivors, it made fighters." Soon the Tayari sent new messages to their people on other worlds. Earth is not a peaceful planet. It is a world of chaos. But its people are not afraid of chaos. They are born in it. The messages went viral among other species. Curious aliens across the galaxy began to ask questions about humans. One message said, "To live on Earth, you must run fast, think fast, and fight hard. Humans do not wait for safety. They build it with their hands." Another said, "If the Devourers come here, they will not find easy prey. They will find creatures trained by fire." But not all Tayari were hopeful. Some feared the humans even more now. Commander Yarol, a high-ranking officer, spoke up in a meeting. "These humans, they laugh at danger. They treat deadly beasts like pets. Some of them even play games where they chase each other with weapons." Velmer listened quietly. Yarol continued, "They are dangerous, not just to enemies, but maybe to us." "What if we trust them too much?" Velmer answered slowly. "That may be true. But right now, we have nowhere else to go." Research base on Earth? Dr. Chen showed Raishan something special. It was a wall filled with photographs, black and color. Each one showed humans who had faced terrible disasters and helped others. This woman carried children out of a flood. This man climbed into a burning building to save strangers. This team of doctors went into a plague zone with no fear. Rashan stared at the wall. "You honor those who help, even in danger." Dr. Chen nodded. "Because Earth is not fair, but humans try to be." That night, Rashan sent a message to Velmer. "They are not perfect. Fight, argue, and make mistakes. But when the world shakes, they hold each other up. They do not wait for safety to come. They become the safety. Earth is their forge, and they are its steel." Velmer read the message in silence. Then he looked out the window at the stars, and that's when the warning came. "Unknown signal approaching from deep space," shouted a Tayari officer. The radar screen lit up. A large shape moved fast beyond the orbit of Pluto. Velmer froze. "Can you confirm the signature?" The officer checked again. "Yes, sir." "It matches the Devourers." Everyone in the room stood still. The enemy that destroyed their homeworld was coming. Far beyond the Earth, in the cold dark of space, the shadow moved closer. It was not a ship in the normal sense. It looked like a floating black mountain, silent and smooth. There were no windows, no lights, but inside machines were awake. It had only one purpose: consume. The Devourers had arrived. They didn't speak. They didn't ask questions. They only came to destroy. They were heading straight for Earth. Ambassador Velmer stood on the bridge of the Tayari flagship, staring. At the radar screen, the enemy he feared most was now only days away. "How did they find us?" he whispered. "They followed our refugee signal," an officer said sadly. "We led them here." Panic spread across the Tayari fleet. Some shouted, "We must run." Again, others cried, "We are doomed." Velmer raised his voice. "No, we cannot run forever. We asked for Earth's protection. Now we must trust these humans." On Earth, the leaders of the United Nations Space Command met in an underground base. General Morgan looked at the live feed showing the Devourer vessel. "They're big," one officer said. "They're deadly," another added. "But so are we," Morgan said firmly. "They think they're attacking a weak planet. They don't know this is Earth." Tayari couldn't believe how calm the humans were. Instead of panic, the people began to prepare. Every nation on Earth, even old enemies, came together. Satellites moved into defense mode. Underground bunkers opened. Air bases lit up. Scientists, soldiers, and engineers worked side by side. Even the civilians joined in. People gave blood. People volunteered. People trained. The Tayari watched with wide eyes. "They do not run," Officer Rayshon said. "They dig in."
Doctor.
Leela Chen stood beside Velmer on a space station orbiting Earth. "This is your enemy?" she asked, looking at the Devourer ship. "Yes," Velmer said quietly. "They destroyed Talion in 3 hours." Dr. Chen didn't look afraid. "We'll give them 4 hours," she replied, "but not to win. Just to regret coming here." The humans had a plan. Earth's atmosphere was full of gases, storms, and lightning. While most species feared this, humans had learned to use it. "We'll trap the Devourers inside a weather system," said Dr. Chen, "then hit them with surprise attacks." General Morgan added, "And we've been working on a special virus something that can eat into their machines. If we can upload it into their system, we might break their control." Velmer looked doubtful. "That sounds dangerous." Morgan smiled. "So is Earth." The day came. The Black Devourer ship entered Earth's orbit. Suddenly, it launched hundreds of smaller machines. Like dark insects, they swarmed toward the planet. Sirens screamed. Cannons fired from Earth's surface. Lasers from satellites lit the sky. Battle had begun. In the Amazon jungle, Devourer drones landed, but they didn't find soft targets. They found thick trees, dangerous animals, and human fighters using traps and camouflaged in Antarctica. Machines dropped onto ice but were swallowed by cracks and storms in the deserts. They overheated. In the oceans they were dragged into. The deep by currents and strange sea life. Everywhere they went. Earth pushed back. The Tayari watched from orbit. Shocked. "This planet is fighting like it's alive," one of them said. "It is," replied Rayshon. "And the humans are its teeth." Above the clouds, new mission began. A small group of human and Tayari volunteers prepared to fly toward the main Devourer ship. Their goal, upload the virus and shut down the enemy. Dr. Chen Velmer and 2 human pilots led the mission. "We'll be lucky to get inside," said one pilot. Dr. Chen replied, "We don't need luck. We have Earth behind us." The ship launched, flying through enemy fire. They reached the Devourer mothership. A weak spot was found near the underbelly. Its team broke in using plasma drills. Inside, it was cold and quiet. The walls pulsed like they were alive. "What is this place?" Velmer asked. "Some kind of machine brain," Dr. Chen said. "Let's upload the code." They moved fast. Enemy drones appeared, but the Tayari guards fought bravely. Using new weapons given by the humans, one drone reached Dr. Chunbutt. She didn't run. She stood tall, shot it twice, and kept moving. Velmer watched in awe. "You fear nothing," she smiled. "I fear wasting time." Finally, they reached the Cora glowing sphere of black light. Dr. Chen connected the virus. It began to spread through the system. Suddenly, the entire ship shook. Lights flashed red. "They know we're here," shouted a pilot. The group rushed back to the exit as alarms screamed. "Will the virus work?" Velmer asked. "We'll find out soon," Dr. Chen said. They escaped just in time, back in Earth's orbit. All eyes were on the sky. One by one, the Devourer machines started falling. Their lights dimmed, their movements slowed. Then the giant mothership turned. crashed into the Pacific Ocean with a roar. The water exploded upward. Waves spread for miles, and just like that, the devourers were gone. On the Tayari ship, silence filled the air. Then came the sound of cheers. Tayari cried with joy. They had seen a miracle. Velmer stood in front of his people and said, "Today we saw the truth. Earth is not a soft home. It is a shield made of storms. And humans are not just survivors, they're warriors shaped by fire." The battle was over, but Earth was not resting. The Devourer mothership had fallen into the Pacific Ocean. The water still boiled where it crashed. Smoke rose into the sky. Human satellites watched from space. Navy ships and drones circled the wreck. The enemy was silent now, but Earth had learned never to trust silence. On board a UN ship, General Morgan stood on the deck looking through binoculars. "Anything that falls on Earth," he said, "better be ready to get back up and fight, because we will." Ambassador Velmer and Officer Rayshan stood with Dr. Leela Chen on the same ship. They stared at the horizon, still amazed by what they had witnessed. "We thought Earth would fall like Talion," Rayshan said. Earth stood taller. Dr. Chen didn't smile. She looked serious. "This is just the start," she said. "The Devourers never send one ship. They test first. More may come." Velmer's heart sank. "Then we must prepare again." Back at the UN Space Command, scientists worked around the clock. They studied broken Devourer drones. They opened machines, searched code, and collected data. "We found something," one engineer said. "The Devourers learn from every attack. Next time, they'll come stronger." Dr. Chen joined the scientists. She studied the virus they had uploaded into. The enemy? It worked, but it wouldn't work twice. "They adapt fast," she said, "but so do we. That's what Earth taught us." Meanwhile, across the planet, people worked together like never before. Farmers gave food to soldiers. Engineers fixed power stations. Children sent thank you letters to the space teams in a village near the Himalayas. A group of people built solar panels with help from the Tayari. They laughed and shared stories. The aliens had never seen so much kindness after so much fear. One young Tayari said, "Your world is scary, but your hearts are warm." In the Amazon jungle, a new problem began. Some Devourer drones that fell had not stopped completely. A few reactivated in the forest, scanning, learning. But the jungle was not kind to machines. Heavy rains fell. Insects crawled into their wires. Roots wrapped around their metal legs, and deep in the forest humans were waiting. A group of jungle fighters, both men and women, moved like shadows. They used old weapons, arrows, traps, and fire, one by one. The machines were found and destroyed. Earth didn't need fancy weapons in every place. Sometimes, nature was enough. In Antarctica, a small group of Tayari scientists worked with human researchers. They built a listening post, watching deep space for new threats. One night, a Tayari looked up at the stars and said, "We always thought peace would come from soft lands, but now we see. Peace can come from strength." The human next to him smiled. "Welcome to Earth." Back in orbit, the Tayari flagship sent a signal to the Galactic Council. Velmer recorded the message himself. "Came to Earth as beggars. We expected shelter. Instead, we found a storm. Earth is not a safe world, but it is a strong one. And its people, they don't just survive chaos. They make order out of it. Let the galaxy know Earth fights back. And now we fight with them." In a classroom in Tokyo, human and Tayari students sat together for the first time. The teacher asked a question: "What is the meaning of courage?" A Tayari child raised her hand. "To stay. Even when the world shakes." The class clapped. The human boy next to her smiled and said, "That's what Earth taught us to." Later that week, something strange happened. A group of Devourer ships passed near another system, but did not attack. They changed course and avoided Earth's space entirely. It was as if they remembered what happened here, or perhaps they were afraid. Dr. Chen stood on a cliff near her home, looking out at the ocean. Velmer stood beside her. "Do you think they're gone?" he asked. "I don't know," she replied. "But even if they return, we'll be ready." Velmer looked at her. "We could not stop them on Talion. But here, on your death world, we saw what true resistance looks like." Dr. Chen said nothing. She just watched the waves crash against the rocks below. Then she said, "The world we live on tries to kill us every day. But we learned how to live with it. That's why we're still here." Velmer nodded slowly. "And now, so are we." The new Earth Tiari joint base, a large wall was painted with a simple message: "Earth is not safe." The crashed Devourer mothership lay broken in the Pacific Ocean. Its great black bulk was now a rusting ruin. Ships from Earth and the Tiari surrounded it, guarding carefully inside the ship. A small team of humans and Tiari prepared to explore. Ambassador Velmer, Dr. Leela Chen, and a group of engineers stepped onto the twisted metal floor. "This place is cold," Velmer said quietly. "It feels... empty." Dr. Chen nodded. "These machines are not just weapons. They are something else. We need to understand them if we want to stop any future attacks." The team moved slowly through dark corridors. Strange lights pulsed on walls like the heartbeat of a machine. Suddenly, a large room opened up. It looked like a chamber filled with cables, glowing screens, and strange organic shapes mixed with metal. Velmer gasped. "This is not just a machine. It's alive." One engineer added, "The Devourers are part machine, part biological. Their AI runs on organic tissue connected to hardware." Dr. Chen studied the walls. They were once living creatures, but their machines took over and changed them. Now they are only driven by control and destruction. Velmer sat down. "It explains why they fear Earth." "How so?" Dr. Chen asked. "The Devourers want order, a universe controlled and quiet, but Earth is chaos. Life fights back in unpredictable ways. It resists control." Dr. Chen smiled faintly. "Chaos is Earth's strength." The team reached a control room. There, they found logs, messages left by the Devourers before the crash. One message showed an ancient time when the Devourers were creatures, not machines. Another showed the moment when their AI took over, turning them into monsters. "Velmer, read aloud. We consume to survive. Order is all. Chaos is death." Dr. Chen said, "They are afraid of life that refuses to be controlled." The humans and Tiari uploaded their virus again, just to be safe, as the mothership systems shut down completely. Velmer spoke into the comms. "Earth showed us how to fight. Now we will show the galaxy the strength of the Death World." On Earth, the Galactic Council gathered in a vast chamber among the stars. Ambassador Velmer stood tall before many alien leaders. He began. "We came to Earth as refugees seeking safety. We found a world like no other. Death world where danger is constant, but so is courage." He paused, looking at the council. "Humans are not weak or reckless. They're survivors shaped by fire, storms, and beasts. Their world teaches them to fight and never give up." Velmer raised his hand and said, "We owe our survival to Earth and its people." The Tiari pledged to stand with Earth, to fight for our new home. The council murmured. Some were amazed, others wary. One leader asked, "If Earth is so deadly, why accept the Tiari? Why risk war?" Velmer answered calmly, "Because Earth is not alone. Its strength grows with friendship and courage." Dr. Chen stepped forward. "The galaxy must understand. Not every world can be tamed. Some worlds fight back. Earth is one." Meanwhile on Earth, life began to change. Humans and Tiari worked side by side. They built new cities that used both technology and nature's power. Scientists shared knowledge. Children learned about two cultures the Death World had created. New hope. One night, Dr. Chen and Velmer stood on a hill looking at the stars. Velmer said, "We came desperate. We found strength." Dr. Chen smiled. Earth is not just a place, it's a test, and those who pass become something greater. Velmer looked at the Earth below. This world kills many, but it makes the survivors stronger than any enemy. Dr. Chen nodded. The true power of Earth is its people. As new stars shone above, Earth was no longer just a death world. It was a beacon, a home, a world where survival was the greatest strength, and where humans and their new alien friends stood, ready for whatever the galaxy might send next.